I have chased him for centuries. I still am not sure what he is trying to do, but I feel as if he too is trying to go home, but not to Nuofotmai, to somewhere else, somewhere that is his home.
What was his name? Or her name?
I don't know his true name, but I know what he was known by. He referred to himself as Lord Finoob. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Lamenters Season 3. The group has just arrived in the town of Yaghmour with the knowledge that the arrival of the Empire is imminent. Meeting a stranger along the road and finding out that Imperial forces are moving north through the borderlands, by river and on land. They arrived in Yaghmour. The advance group contacted Mayor Durst and informed him of the situation and gave him the missive from Lord Trevor. Mayor Durst told them to wait at the inn and that he was going to call the council, the town council of Yaghmour, to discuss what options, if any, they have. So the bulk of the group had gone to the inn, and Oldrad, you had ridden behind with Lino and his wagon. You guys arrive at the northern gate of Yaghmour and are met with the same suspicion and hostility. Unless you put up a fight, they will let you in. They will require that you check any weapons. And you are given a wooden tab that has a number for the locker in which your things are checked.
I do that.
You notice that Lino doesn't check any weapons. The scythe that you saw. Actually, did you notice that?
I don't recall, actually.
You did mention it last time.
Yeah, you notice that, like, in his wagon, in addition to, like a chest and a few crates with provisions and stuff, some rope, there were some tools, climbing tools, but there was also like a scythe, like a farmer's scythe almost. He basically leaves all of his stuff in the wagon, and his pack horse and wagon are pulled off to one side. Adjacent to the barracks by the north gate is a stables. So he grabs a pouch of coins, and he gives a couple silver pieces to one of the stable boys who take his pack horse, and they park his wagon.
I do the same to stable my horse.
So after that, Lino looks around and he's like, well, to the inn then to meet up with your friends?
I suspect that's where they are.
He nods, and the two of you start walking, through town. As you're doing so, you notice that almost every building is closed, doors are closed, windows are shuttered. Very few people, especially for midday, very few people are out on the streets. You do see the presence of a few guards kind of running back and forth. As you are heading towards the end, you notice Claude's friend, Captain Elwig, who is walking with a group of constables from the constabulary towards the docks, towards the lake. He doesn't seem to notice you. He also, you notice that, like, all of the guards that you pass all look pretty exhausted. A lot of them have evidence of recent battles. Some of them have bandages, like blood-soaked bandages around their arms or legs. And it looks like they've been through a lot recently.
Yeah, I take notice and continue towards the inn.
Okay. You arrive at the inn. And when you go in, you see your group of friends seated at a large round table. There's literally no one else in the inn right now. You guys are the only people in the inn. The innkeeper himself is there. You hear a couple people in the kitchens making food, but there are no other patrons in the inn.
As we come up to the table, greet my companions and say, any news after delivering the message?
They have to meet first.
Okay.
They are not happy.
I never expected that, but are they gonna meet tonight, or are we gonna be able to go hear what they have to say?
He'll let us know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a little parched, so I'll join you guys.
Now I've got 4 rooms, so we can decide who goes where. Lino, if you want to bunk with one of us, that's fine.
He says, yes, that is a most gracious offer. Thank you.
I suspect the girl is still with us, the young girl from the farm?
Yes.
Okay.
She is actually eager to have someone escort her to see if she can find her brother-in-law.
Yeah. Okay. Point her towards the constable, like, that we had passed, like you might want to check with them, perhaps.
I'll escort her over to my mate. And
okay. I'll come back to you. So you guys head out. The rest of you are waiting, and maybe 10 minutes later, the innkeeper and his daughter come out with a couple trays of food. There's a stew with very little meat and a lot of vegetables and barley. And there is some bread. No cheese, nothing else fancy. They have ale, they are out of wine, and they are out of mead.
Rip.
The innkeeper apologizes profusely. He tells you that they were expecting to restock on provisions, but something must have happened. That's what he tells you. And he's then, scurrying back into the kitchen. One thing I'll say is that when Sarah, when you acquired the rooms, you noticed that you were able to get 2 rooms, but that there were no other keys available, like on the wood board where he keeps all the keys. So it's not that there aren't people in the inn, it's that there's no one hanging out in the tavern. It seems like everybody that has occupied rooms is up in their rooms.
So we only got 2 rooms?
Yeah, that's all they had available. Every other room is booked solid, which kind of jives with what you had heard about refugees coming from other places.
Yeah.
Smash cut back to Claude. You are walking down the streets and you see like 6 more of the volunteer militia guards heading east towards the docks.
Yeah.
You ask about Captain Elwig, and they tell you that everybody's going to the docks. You get there, and you see that there's a small sailing boat that has arrived, and 2 of the guards wearing the garb of Lee County that get off, and you see them talking to Captain Elwig on the docks.
I'll approach.
Yeah, and Elwig turns, as if he's completed his conversation with these guards, and you see just like this grim look over his face, and he turns and he sees you, and he says, "Oh, Claude, sorry, friend, that I haven't had time to speak with you, but we've just received some disturbing news. There are Imperial boats at the mouth of the lake. They're not far now."
Yeah, we were warned, and that's one of the reasons why we came here, is to warn of those. And now that I have you, I was looking for you because this young lady, her brother-in-law is supposed to be in town, and she has lost her whole family to the raids up in the north. So she's looking for her family.
He looks at her and he says, I'm sorry. He's like, you may try visiting the church. If they didn't have money and couldn't find a room at one of the inns, all of the other refugees have gone to the church. The priest is trying to do what he can to make arrangements for people to sleep and eat, but they may be there. He says, you'll have to forgive me, but I need to go speak with the mayor and update him on this information. And he kind of nods to you guys.
He should be in session with the rest of the town council, so you'll catch them all.
Thank you. And he heads off in a hurry. You hear like the kind of like murmuring and side talk after Elwig leaves from the militiamen. And the general tone is one of fear and concern about the imminent arrival of the Empire. Like a lot of them, you hear a lot of them saying like, well, we're not going to be able to fight them. I mean, this is a surrender situation, right? And you know, some of the other guys are like, yeah, of course. I mean, they way outnumber us. There's no fighting this. And then some of them are like, oh, we should leave. We should pack up what we have and head north. And then other people are like, well, they're going to go there too. There's nowhere we can go, you know, and kind of you hear like this mix of different conversations from amongst the guards.
The inevitable.
Yeah. So you do you then head to the church?
Yeah.
Okay. So you arrive at the church and the doors aren't even closed, and you see people encamped outside of the church, like on the grass along the road. You see tents, and then you see people like even just like on the stairs of the church, and there's a number of people, and it looks like probably 80 to 100 people have sought sanctuary at the church.
Yeah.
And you know, so as you approach, you know, you see there are some people that look like they're trying to help other people out. You see a few people kind of distributing food, like broken up chunks of bread, fruit, and you could see that as you're looking into the doors of the church, there are even more people inside.
Yeah. I turn to her and, you see anyone you recognize? You see your brother-in-law here? Or?
So yeah, she's like looking around outside, and you know, after like 5 minutes or so, she's like maybe they're inside, and she kind of goes inside, and you go in with her,
asking for some of the folks around if they know where the priest is and can point them out.
Yeah. So when you get inside, you see there are more people tending to some of the refugees. You see a lot of the refugees have been injured. Like a lot of them have like, you know, bandages on wounds. You see, you know, some people with their arms or legs in splints, some people with like burn marks and stuff. It just looks like these people were victimized. And you see kind of in the far corner of the church, you see the priest who looks like he has not slept, tending to, you know, some of the injured people. And it is at that point that both, you know, while you and Ivana are kind of looking around, that you hear a baby crying. And Ivana kind of looks up, and off on the other side, you see kind of a young man sort of nervously, looks exhausted, you know, but kind of trying to pacify this baby. And Ivana's like, that's him. And she turns to you, and you see like this look of hope come over her face, and she runs over to him, and you see he sees her, and he's like overcome with emotion, and he starts crying, and they're kind of holding each other in an embrace. Ivana begins to explain, what happened. She introduces you, and she tells him about the rest of the group and the unfortunate loss of the rest of the family.
Mm-hmm.
She tells you that she doesn't know how to repay you, but that she will keep you in her prayers every night to the one true God and thank him for being rescued and for saving her.
There's no need for any help. Just your prayers will be welcomed and plenty enough. And I'm just glad you found your brother.
She gives you a hug, and her brother-in-law shakes your hand and thanks you. And then she basically stays there with what's left of her family.
Yeah. And on my way out, I'm gonna pass by the priest.
Okay.
Give him a short chat. Well, thank you for receiving all these people and giving them aid. And I just want to...
He sees that you have the crest of Lee Castle, and he says, is there any word? Are we going to get reinforcements from Lee County?
I know some things, but it's best to leave it in the hands of your council. And I believe we have brought a message to the mayor, and they're in session right now. So expect news sometime this evening. And as we're chatting, I open up my money pouch and take out a handful of silver coins and say, please take this for thanks of giving these people aid and maybe for the future of aid. And I try and hand out about 200 silver.
Wow. That revolutionizes the economy of Yaghmour. The priest takes it. He immediately thanks the one true God and you. And he tells two of his acolytes to take this back behind the altar and begin to divide it up and prepare. He says we will keep you in our thoughts and our prayers, and just know that this gift is going to help so many others who have lost their homes, their livelihoods, their livestock, and so much more. Thank you. And he
no worries.
He gives you an immediate
He
gives you an immediate blessing of the one true God, and he recites a prayer for safe travel and for discernment.
Thank you, sir.
Smash cut back to the inn. You guys eat the humble food that you have, and drink the watered down mediocre ale, which is not as good as previous offerings at this inn, but you've reached the conclusion that whoever supplies Yaghmour with such things has not made it through for delivery.
I'll slip a silver piece to whoever comes by the table to refresh our drinks or whatever.
They do. Anything that you guys want to do while you're waiting for Claude?
Well, let's decide on the divvy up of the rooms. I was only able to get 2. So, I'm not uncomfortable with any of you guys, so.
Maybe we should also think about what we'll do next. I think we should probably go east. I'm not sure how you all look at this problem, but I think that's...
Sorry, go ahead.
That's a little bit more pressing than the current division of the room, so...
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
What are we going to find east that's going to help us? Because our goals, and that I've kind of seen that, like, we've we kind of wanted to go find that. Is that priest that's taking people north in the east?
Janusz.
Yeah,
Janusz, the old priest. So he's in the east.
but it will be further from the Empire, and if we are
True.
supposed to go to the north anyway, let's do that on a little bit more friendly land, I would say.
Lino says, as a reminder, he says, I have traveled to the east before. There are ways through the mountains. You are sturdy warriors, so we should be okay. We would need to obviously cross either the river at multiple points or acquire a means of crossing the lake.
Well, two things. First off, the castle to the north is a little suspect. And my family is farther south. I can forego going to my home for the purposes of this group. Also, remember that necklace that Karamina had with the little berries that caused Leonard his illness? That berry, according to the herbal person in town here, came from north of the Eastern Kingdoms. So I think we can enter the north north of the Eastern Kingdoms.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we also
although I don't trust that keep in the north of the Eastern Kingdoms.
Okay.
Do you think
we also have this situation with the candlestick holders kind of going on in this area, it seems too. I don't know if that's something we want to delve deeper into.
Do you think this is the reason that the Empire is sending an army here? Because originally Katarina was here. She was collecting them and she was planning to returning to the Empire. If she didn't return.
I don't think that's the overarching reason why the Empire is sending a whole army up here. I think maybe that was a certain other entity.
I mean, we are still not close to even knowing what the meaning of them is.
We have some information about it. You weren't there last session, but we did get a little information about it.
I would say our best chance for now is to, let's say, follow and protect Lino. And I think we'll learn more.
Lino says, I would be happy to have your company, friends. And as I told you before, there are many ways to go north, so certainly we could go east first, if that is your desire. I have come to learn that very few things are actually as urgent as we usually believe them to be, because time is... He literally stops. He's like... And he kind of like zones out for about 10 seconds, and then he's like, time is often cyclical.
Also remember that the church of the one true God in the Eastern Kingdoms is different than the one in the Western Kingdoms. The
Yes.
Eastern Kingdoms, they tend to be more closed in. They're more charitable, less aggressive. So we may have fewer problems with the ideology there. And my family had been giving to them for generations. So,
And what part of the Eastern Kingdoms does your family hail from?
Well, we hail from southeast of the capital in a place called Buza.
Hmm. Was that very far from the capital?
Not too far.
So the capital of the Southern Kingdom is kind of southeast from where you are. I would say southeast from where you are. The capital of the Northern Kingdom is also southeast of where you are. So those two kingdoms, their capitals are very close.
Oh,
okay.
The furthest north is Nikovala, that's actually the capital of the Northern Kingdom, but they have so what you guys remember before the temporal anomaly is that the Western Church and Eastern Church have always been very different institutions. The difference since you guys awoke is the discovery that you've learned of that the Western Church merged with several of the Western kingdoms to become the Holy Empire.
Okay.
And that is distinctly different because they have always been separate. Government has been separate from the institutions of faith. And this, when that happened, when you guys were gone during the temporal anomaly, is what makes that distinctly different. The armies of the Empire that are moving up through the borderlands are not simply armies from the Western kingdoms. They're distinctly imperial armies, which are ruled by both military and religious figures. Whereas in the Eastern kingdoms, the Eastern Church is still separate from the noble houses.
Okay.
I have a thought.
As you guys are having that thought, you see a young, maybe teenage boy run in. And he looks around and he looks at your table, seeing that you guys are the only people in the inn. And he runs up to you and he says, are you the couriers that came from Lee Castle?
Yes.
He says, Mayor Durst and the council have asked, they have requested that you come imminently.
Very well.
We've expected that.
Show the way, boy.
Yes. And he bows and you guys kind of get up, grab your stuff, and walk out and follow the boy. You are then led just down the road. And you enter the inn, you go up to the top floor where you have met the council before. And as you approach, you see that in this room, you enter the big kind of suite. You see Cordero, who you may remember was kind of the postmaster. He's the head of the courier office and manages all mail and courier services in Anger. Of course, you see Mayor Durst at the table. You see Melania, the apothecary. You see Piotr, the purveyor of pipes and tobacco. You see Ron, the tailor. And you also see Heinrich, the horse breeder. Who you do not see, however, is the priest, Brother Malijah, because Claude just saw him very busily trying to take care of a couple hundred refugees. And you also don't see Captain Elwig because he's busy too. As you guys walk in, Mayor Durst stands up and he says, "Please, friends, come in. I have shared the missive from Lord Trevor Lee concerning this matter of Imperial forces, as well as this imminent threat of a horde. We have not seen the scale of this horde that you all witnessed closer to Lee Castle, but we have been under siege for a week. The raids throughout the countryside against farms, small hamlets, have been endless. Some of the survivors who have fled here from both north and south of Yaghmour barely made it out. Many of them grievously injured, and some of them died even after they arrived here from blood loss or wounds. He says, "We have discussed this matter regarding the Empire, and we have concurred with Lord Trevor. There are no viable options other than to surrender to the Empire and to beseech them to give us aid and support."
Have the Empire give you any requirements why they are sieging you, or any reasons?
We have not. We have. Well, Captain Elwig was just here a few minutes ago to update us, and apparently, some of our militiamen who were patrolling the lake saw Imperial boats coming up the river, entering the lake, as well as forces on land marching on the road.
Which houses outside of the central area support Lee Castle?
He says there was a time when all of the borderlands north of Three Rivers were loyal to Lee County, and the other ones were loyal to Southport. However, things have changed over the years, particularly once the Empire began the occupation of Southport and effectively took it over. The loyalties of the people throughout the borderlands, many of them shifted. It is understandable. If you imagine the lives of the common folk, farmers, folk in the timber trade, miners, fishermen, the presence of the Empire provides a certain stability. And for many, that stability and that safety is enough for them to surrender the freedoms that they once had. Lee Castle has never taxed any of the towns or settlements. In the old days, there were lords who would tithe to Lee Castle, but not because it was mandated. The noble house of Lee has always been generous, and thus the borderlands remained a collection of free cities and towns.
Surely there are those who choose not to live under the thumb of rule, who choose not to bend the knee to the Empire.
Perhaps. Perhaps in the Eastern Kingdoms, where the Empire has not yet crept, but their reach is long. And with their arrival, I'm certain that there will be safety and support, resources, provisions. But I also believe that in time they will tax the borderlands just as they tax all of the Western Kingdoms. One way or the other, the Empire will collect their dues. But we have no choice. We do not even have enough strength to oppose these raids from the low people, let alone to stand up against a fully trained Imperial army and navy. He says, "You will always have our gratitude for the various services that you have provided this council over time, but we are prepared to surrender and pledge loyalty to the Empire once it arrives. Our time in opposition of the Empire is no more. There is nothing else that we can do." And you notice that this is not an easy statement for the mayor to make. And you see that the same demeanor sits on the faces of Cordero and Heinrich James and Melania and Ron the Tailor. They all seem very disappointed by this turn of events, but they also have an expression of resignation.
I suppose it's a means to an end until we can find an alternative solution.
Oh, you can choose the Empire or the Horde. And kind of exploitation either way.
For the sake of our people, we must choose the Empire. If nothing else, they have the strength to oppose a Horde. Yeah. And provide provisions and resources that we have been sorely lacking in due to all of the raids that have happened.
Yeah, that is also why I was asking about why the Empire is coming this way, because there is no guarantee that they will just not tax you and just leave you there after you give up.
It is curious. We were discussing this before your arrival. How is it that the Empire is heading up river through the borderlands to quell this low people uprising? When, in fact, we just were informed from your very missive just this day.
Well, do you know that they're coming up to deal with the Horde? Or is they just finally thought it time to come north and subdue the country?
Several of the refugees who tried to hold on in Oak Point said that the low people attacks ended when the low people scouts detected that the army was imminent.
Okay.
I told already to the Lord Lee that I don't like this situation, and my suspicion is that the low people are somehow working with the Empire. That the Empire may have used some nefarious arcane means to instigate this situation, but I'd say we have no proof right now.
It's a common military tactic to have a force come up and then have a force come from another direction and squeeze those in the middle.
Oh, it's called pinching.
Yeah. I don't know that they're working together. It would make sense without any more intelligence. I think we should leave before the army gets here.
So at this point, Piotr, the tobacconist, speaks up. My friends, if it is your desire to remain free, you should leave Yaghmour before the Empire arrives. He says, I remember when they occupied Southport. Once they place a foothold, they are the only arbiters of who can leave and who can stay. And they will be the only arbiters of who can be bearers of arms. They do have laws, but once they lay their foothold, they are in control.
When they occupied Southport, how many soldiers did they leave behind?
They took Southport, and the reinforcements from the Western Kingdoms kept coming. At one point, at the height of the siege of Southport, there were 95,000 soldiers from the West.
It's time to go.
They, at that point, could have taken the whole of the borderlands if they desired to.
Out of character, this is the town we left Katarina in?
Yes. And
you want to say Karamina.
Yeah.
Because Katarina is dead.
Yeah.
But yes, Karamina, you left her in the custody of the guards. She is in the jail.
Is Karamina still in your jails? Karamina and her...
The mayor says yes. I believe so, yes.
Okay. I want to speak with her.
He says,
okay, you can
as
speak
you see
with
fit.
her, but I would say the all the rest of us, we should go and at least get some means of transportation to get to the other side of the lake or whatever, just before the boats arrive.
Yeah.
If you want to speak with her, be my guest, but
Agreed.
as we have the ship, we're leaving with or without you.
I'll be quick, okay?
Mayor Durst says, we wish you all well, that you find safe passage to wherever it is that you are going, and we will remember you and be grateful for all of the tasks that you did in service of the people of the Borderlands and Anger.
If possible, I'd love to stock up on some pipeweed from Piotr before we leave.
Piotr nods, and he stands, and he walks out with you guys. You head out. You cross the street. You go to Piotr's shop. He unlocks the door. He gestures to a variety of options, and then he pulls out a sizable pouch, and he hands it to you, and he says, "This is a gift from me. It's the least I can do."
Thank you.
It has a nice cherry after finish.
I look forward to this. And I give him like 30 silver at least, and this is also...
He puts his hand up. He says, "No, friend. I may have no need for that, but you may have need for coin as you go about your travels. But I pray that you will arrive safely to wherever your destination is." And he nods. Okay, so who is going to the jail? Just Sarah? Okay. So what are the rest of you guys going to do? I'll do Sarah's interaction. Yeah. So Sarah, you start walking towards the jail. Mm-hmm. The rest of you guys, plus Lino, are outside of the tobacco shop. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, Bivoj had the point that we need to get a boat to get to the other side.
Either the boat or whatever it is, whatever there is.
Okay, so I'll explain some options for you. If you guys go down to the docks, no one's out on the lake fishing. There are plenty of boats. There are a lot of nervous fishermen, and if you're willing to pay them, they'll ferry you across the lake. However, none of those boats are big enough for you guys to have horses. So if you get all your stuff, you can get a boat across the lake. If you want to keep your horses, the only option there is to go get all your weapons and your horses, leave through the north gate, travel back up the road and across the bridge like you did when you were chasing down Karamina's guys.
We would need to meet with the fishermen outside of the city to at least get our weapons. So
definitely need my weapons.
Right. Mm-hmm. So those are your options. If you want horses, that's going to take a while longer because you're going to have to get your stuff, leave the city, travel up north along the road, go cross the bridge. Then once you get to the wedge, you'll have to ford the river because there is no bridge from the wedge to the eastern side.
Yeah. I take a ship and bypass that opportunity for glory on the battlefield.
Well, I fear that if we go up take a boat, the Empire will spot the boat going and coming back, and they will wreak havoc on trying to figure out who ferried who across. And I don't want to put anyone in that position, so I think just taking the horses and head north, cross the bridge when we get there, is the safer option for those here.
Okay.
You have the point that the Lino has some card.
And he has a card, yeah.
And that would be problematic. But yeah, and we should in that case prepare the horses and be ready.
I'll say that Lino would tell you that he could grab a couple of his personal items and leave the rest of the stuff on his cart, because the rest of the stuff on his cart is stuff that he could purchase in any city effectively.
Mm-hmm.
That, rations, oil, rope, climbing gear, the kind of stuff that he was preparing for a solo journey up into the mountains, he could buy at any city in the Eastern Kingdoms. So he said he only has a couple items that he would need to acquire, and then he could travel.
Well, if we want to go east across the mountains, there's a high likelihood that at some point the cart would be left behind, with the roads being untravelable by car.
Right.
So might as well leave it here and spare us the slow and just ride quickly without a car.
Yeah.
You have one other option too. If you were willing to go on foot, you could take a boat north up the lake and then have them drop you off north and then come back that same route. That would not put them into a situation where they're directly crossing the river.
Yeah.
So a fisherman that, as Claude alluded to, a fisherman who maybe was then intercepted by the Imperials would just look like he was trolling along the western coast of the lake.
Yeah.
So you guys are talking about these different options, right? You're discussing it, looking into the options. You talk to some of the fishermen, you find some who are willing to ferry you across, etc. Smash cut back to Sarah. You walk down 2 blocks and you get to the constabulary. You go in and there's literally one constable working the whole place.
Before I leave, I hand my chip to Leonard.
Oh, to get your equipment? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I would like to see Karamina, please. A prisoner here.
He says, okay. And he leads you back, opens up the door to the hallway. You see 4 rows of cells. There's 4 on each side. And he walks down to the second to the last cell on the left. You see the bars, wooden timbers very firmly affixed. Inside the cell, you see 2 very simple wooden cots with, hay, and there's a chamber pot in there. And you see Karamina looking unhappy and disheveled, as if she hasn't bathed in several days. She looks at you and she says, "Oh, so you've returned."
Yes. There are a couple questions. You mentioned our presence at the place of storms by the tower disrupted something that was going on.
She looks at you, doesn't say anything.
Okay. And you said that you could tell me why we had the time skip.
She smiles.
Well, I understand there are others who have experienced this time skip. And we have talked to someone who has. And we will learn more.
No, you won't. She stands up from the bed and she walks right up to the bars, inches away from
Not
you.
that close.
She walks right up to her side of the bars and she says, "You seek answers. I offered to help you. I offered to give you answers, to help all of you. And yet here I languish in this rotten, filthy jail. So, now you ask me for more answers, and yet I do not sense that you have anything to offer me. Unless you have the means to release me from this cell, I see no reason why I should help you.
We know about the metal alloy.
Yes. Some learned people do know about the weapons and armor once forged in the ancient kingdom of Nargenheim.
Well, thank you.
Some know about and even possess some of those rare antiquities.
Well,
but you could have also learned that from a book in a well-stocked temple.
Unfortunately, we have encountered nothing like that. So,
of course not. These
Okay.
lands are frivolous at best, full of country bumpkins, commoners,
so
most
you're
of
not
whom
from
are
these-
illiterate.
So you are not from these lands.
I'm not from the borderlands, fool. I told you that. I'm from Southport.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for talking to me. We are done here.
You are done here. And she smiles.
One more question. Exactly what happened to my family?
Oh, I'd love to tell you that story. I would love to, but not from this position.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then I guess it isn't important for me to know. So,
Oh, it is. But I suppose that you'll have to find out on your own.
I'm afraid that that's long behind me now. I am so sorry. I will have to leave you now. Have a good time. I will put in a good word for you.
She says, wait. Perhaps
No,
you're right.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Sorry, I'm going. Okay.
Make a D20 roll.
Actually, that's just a ruse. I really want to know. I just don't want to give her the satisfaction of knowing that I want to know.
Of course. Make a D20 roll and subtract 1.
16.
You feel compelled to wait and talk to her. She says, Sarah, Florian, Marjit. Even though the house of Marjit is a lower noble house, you are still a noble, so I will accord you respectfully. But in return, I will need you to go to the single guard and convince him that you need to release me. Then we will go for a walk, and I will tell you all about your family. You have my word. Now, please, go do this.
Do I have any... I have no choice?
No, you have no choice. You feel that this is a great plan. So it makes total sense. I mean, it'll answer your questions, and she's, clearly according you with the due respect of a noble. So you stroll down the hall, and the guard looks at you, and he says, are you done with your visit?
I wish to have you release Karamina, Lady Karamina, and she and I will have to go for a walk for a private conversation.
He's like, but by whose authority? I can't just let prisoners go.
Oh, she will not be gone. She will just be out and hopefully back.
Now make a charisma roll.
Oh, God.
I mean, at least you have a good charisma, so...
Yeah, but I didn't get a good roll. 7.
He looks at you and he's like, listen, I want to believe you, and frankly, I have a lot of better things that I need to do. I'm the only one here, and he's like, but I can't just overlook you taking a prisoner on a furlough. He goes, unless maybe you could make a small donation to help my family recuperate from the raids.
I'll put I'll put 2 silver pieces on the table. I am compelled to do this.
He's like, no, by small, I mean like 10 times what you just put on the table. This is enough to buy feed for one of my horses one day.
I don't know how much I have.
You should have plenty.
I'll pick that up and put down a gold piece.
Okay. He walks down the hallway, he unlocks the door, and he says, just make sure that she's back in less than an hour, because otherwise the captain's going to have my head.
Okay. Now, what decisions can I make independent of this charm?
Anything that wouldn't harm Karamina. So Karamina stands up. She nods to the guard, says thank you, and then she reaches out her hand and takes your hand in a friendly way, and she says, let's go walk. And then you start walking with her.
I want to tie a rope on her hand.
Okay, you start to do that, and she goes, no, that won't be necessary. And then you put the rope away. You walk outside, hand in hand with Karamina, like two gal pals just going for a stroll.
God, I don't want to hold her hand.
As I've mentioned repeatedly, there are very few people on the streets.
Yeah.
She starts walking with you, and she says, now, you wanted to know about your family. She says, your family did a lot of trade. They had a modest fleet and did a lot of trade between the Eastern Kingdoms and Southport. You remember that, don't you? We should walk down by the lake. After all, you are a person for whom water and traveling by water for your noble house was very important. Come. And so you're walking down by the lake, and she says, now, as you recall, the Marjit Trading Company had a strong, modestly strong position in ferrying various resources from the Eastern Kingdoms to Southport, where they would then be traded. Part of my family's interests involved similar things, she says, but we always had to pay out to cover the middleman. And so when the opportunity became available, we thought to ourselves, well, why not take over that trade? And due to those storms, your family's numbers were not as strong. And after the storms, a lot of their ships were destroyed. But the patriarch of your family was a stubborn old codger, wasn't he? And so it fell to us to determine a way for us to politely take over your family's holdings and business. And so we did. And it was all too easy. There weren't enough Marjits left to stand against us. So my family made your family an offer that they simply could not refuse, much like you not refusing me now. And so the Marjit family sold all their holdings, and those who were left took all their wealth and hoarded it into their homes. And then something unfortunate happened. There was some terrible plague that swept through much of Buza, and the remaining members of the Marjits all were afflicted with this terrible sickness. High fevers just burning up, and I'm told that no one could figure out any sort of curative to help them, and they all died. She says, now, you could choose to stay here and wait, but you could also leave. I'm sure that sticking around for the Empire's arrival isn't something that you're looking forward to, but I'll be staying right here on the docks. I'm expecting some friends.
And I can do nothing.
Nothing to harm her. You could say whatever you want.
Well, that fever illness sounds very familiar to me.
Of course it does. It's what I used to attempt to poison you and your friends.
I know. I know you did that. Thank you. Please, I will release my hand now, and you will release mine, and I will be on my way.
Yes.
Thank you for that information. Thank you for that information.
Of
and
course.
I give her this look. Oh, it's a look.
And she smiles at that look.
I bet you do. But thank you.
Of course. Run along.
I don't run.
Okay. Smash cut back to the rest of the group. What do you guys decide to do? Let's start with horses or water.
I would say horses. Let's take horses and go.
Yeah. Seems to be consensus. Yeah. This way we get most of our equipment and we don't know what we might need.
Okay. As you guys are walking back to the north gate where your horses are stabled and all of your equipment is stored, you hear the ringing of bells. Not by the north gate, way back on the other side of town.
We should go now.
Claude, you know that sound. That's the sound of imminent danger.
I guess we're out of time, guys.
I don't think we are getting out.
Get moving.
You get to the north gate and you see 8 militiamen.
You better hurry up.
Fully armed, running past you. You see that there's one kid in the stables, and you see him, like, when he hears the bells and he sees you guys, he dives behind a hay bale. You go grab your horses. You see Lino affixing the well, actually, is he going to take his cart with you guys?
He said he wasn't.
Okay. So Lino goes over to his cart and he pulls out a key and he unlocks a chest and he reaches in and grabs 2 decent sized pouches and he kind of tucks them inside of his cloak. And then he grabs a scythe and he leaves the rest of it there. And he walks through the stables and finds one horse that isn't claimed by you guys and saddles the horse.
Are there any more spare horses?
Yes. But you would know that those horses are probably in use by the guards.
Well,
I thought he had a horse.
We can try and take a few more horses and
okay,
get some.
So when you go to get your supplies, your weapons and stuff, there's no one in there. Like, there's the counter, and you see all the lockers behind the counter, and no one's in there. The bells are still ringing.
Yeah.
Let's go over the counter and pick up.
Okay.
This stuff. And
as you're doing that, Sarah, you arrive. You find your friends. Everybody's grabbing their stuff. You see Lino.
Stuff.
Lino's on a horse waiting.
Did you learn what you needed to learn?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
It's wasting.
I don't look at anybody.
I'm looking through the lockers if there's any other good quality weapons to bring.
No, not good quality weapons. There are axes and swords, couple short bows and some arrows. I mean, you could grab arrows.
Well, grab at least an axe.
Okay.
And grab more
thieves.
Something that looks like
Claude.
a good chopping axe.
All right. So we don't have talk over. I'm going to go through. So Niels, you grab a hand axe.
Yeah, something to chop down trees and stuff.
Okay.
And make firewood.
All right, Leonard, what do you look for?
I just look for my crossbow and for the longsword I found a long time ago. And,
yes.
Just was wondering, is there like an easy way to get on top of the gate, or?
There are no guards at the north gate. When the bells started ringing, they all ran towards the south. So you see the pulley system to open up the gate is unmanned. So you guys could basically let yourselves out.
Okay.
I don't want to leave the gate open, so.
Well, without
wanna...
somebody holding it open, it will close on its own.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it's counterweighted. So, like if Bane is the last person holding the gate open, then it will close after he leaves.
Okay.
So everybody grabs their stuff. Any additional things that you look for before you leave?
Can I find like a spare quiver with the arrows so I can have one with me and one on the horse?
I'll say that you find a quiver, and collectively you find 20 more arrows.
Right.
I want to see if anyone has
take 1 or 2 extra horses.
Okay.
Any dried? I'm looking for dried meat. I've been parched for meat all for like a week.
So this you would know that there's not going to be any provisions here because people can keep their stuff, but this is like just weapons.
Just my weapons then.
Yes. Sarah?
Are there any additional arrows other than the ones that Bivoj found?
Yeah, I'll say that you can also find a quiver and then jack a bunch of arrows, so you can find 20 more arrows.
Okay, I'm good. I'm on my horse. I'm ready to go.
Oldrad, anything?
I get my stuff.
Okay. You do get all of your stuff. And then when you guys get out, you get on your horses. Bane, you hold open the gate. Everybody rides through. Bane, you're the last person through. As you're leaving, the bells stop ringing.
Let's go.
The last echoes of those bells kind of ring out as you guys are riding north out of Yaghmour.
I think it's time to be quick.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you have daylight, so you're on a road, so you guys could gallop. You start pushing at a pretty full pace. And you get 5 miles up the road, and you see the old stone bridge, where manned by no one. There's literally no one there. The gatehouse is empty. You see no one's there. You cross the stone bridge, and you get to the wedge. The road is, at this point, a dirt road. It's not maintained by anyone, so there's kind of some vestiges of when it used to be a proper cobblestone road, but most of it's broken up and it's just dirt and rock. You continue, I'm assuming, to travel. You pass through some sparse woods, and after about 10 miles, you get to the eastern side of the wedge, and you see the river, and you have some options. The river is relatively wide here. You could dismount and try to lead your horses across to ford the river, but effectively at the deepest point, you and the horses have to swim.
What does the current look like?
The current's not bad here, but it's still pretty deep. Option 2 is you could go north up this river and cross at a narrower point. But you figure that distance is probably going to be another 10 miles.
You guys want to try to cross here, or move further up the river?
And you guys, from this vantage, you're 5 miles away from the mountains. Like, you see them on the horizon, like soaring up.
When the river is narrower, the water gets stronger, so we should probably
the trade-off.
Cross here.
Let's cross here, or at least attempt to.
I also don't want to. We haven't run into anything so far. We might run into low people more north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, the people who are wearing any heavy armor.
Yep.
You're going to have to make, everybody's going to have to make strength checks, but the difficulty of those strength checks is going to be higher if you're wearing heavy armor.
Okay.
Breastplate is considered heavy or medium?
Medium.
I think medium, yeah.
Would it be enough time to take off my my heavy armor?
Hold on.
Time
is yours to use. When you say enough time, that's up to you guys.
I'm gonna take my armor off
Stop. So before we cross,
it's not going to be happy getting wet. So
before we cross, I'm going to cast Bless on my group. So anyone within earshot and friendly to the caster gains a +1 on all attribute checks, saving throws, and 2 hit rolls. Casting takes my combat action, which is going to be 2 combat actions because it takes me twice as long to do anything. Durations for 1 minute per caster level, no saving throw. Yeah. So Oldrad clasps his hands together and offers. He beseeches Peshwick to grant him and his companions the strength to cross this part of the river. And he says it out loud.
Okay. All of you guys will have to make strength rolls. So here's how this is going to work mechanically. I'm going to call on you. You're going to make the roll. You use your modifier. If it's a primary, that means it's got the black dot next to it. You add your level plus your modifier, and then you roll. If it's not a primary, then you just have your modifier. You do not get to add your level. So yes, Sarah, I'm looking at you with your 6 strength.
6.
But your -1 is counteracted by Oldrad's blessing. So yours is a straight roll. Okay, so we're going to start with Sarah.
And I have leather armor.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Okay. Here I go. 13.
Okay, you begin successfully fording the river. Now we go to Leonard, who also does not have supreme levels of strength.
I rolled when you said that we have to roll this strength check, and I got 9 on the die, so it's 9.
Leonard will need to be rescued. Claude, you're up next.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Or 27, 28.
Would you like to swim over to Leonard and rescue him as he's drowning?
Yeah, as I'm pulling my horse along, I see him drifting off. I just head over and grab him.
Okay. Bane.
Critter is pedaling.
24.
Yes. Bivoj.
That's 17.
Yes. Oldrad.
24.
Okay, now, Claude, you are going to make 2 more rolls with no bonuses for the additional 2 horses that you stole.
All right. That's a 9.
Okay, that one drowns. Next one.
And an 8, so
okay.
He's out as
the
well.
2 bonus horses drown. Now, Leonard.
Fuck.
Leonard.
Did not get the
for
bonus.
Nothing. No, for nothing.
Leonard, you're going to make a straight roll for the horse because you were rescued by Claude, but your horse has to make his own swim roll.
19. He's way better at it.
Your horse survives. So everybody makes it across. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to roll for Lino.
Lino Jones.
Lino's good. You all cross. All of you are soaking wet. And remember, that's mountain water, so it's hella cold.
Yeah.
You are across safely.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely, you could travel maybe a mile so you're not within eye shot of the lake. But after that, you have to stop, take off all your stuff, wring out your clothes, make a fire, dry out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we are just at the other side of the lake, I want to take my spyglass and look back to the Yaghmour just to see what's there.
That would be 15 miles, so you don't really see much.
Okay.
But you are, I'll say that, you guys ride a mile inland. You're at the foothills of the mountains. Like the mountains are soaring up above you. There are trees, so it's easy enough for you to find kindling from the pine trees, and it's dry. You gather stuff together, you make a fire. And you guys are in short order kind of taking turns drying off. Maybe even hanging your clothes over the fire a little bit higher to kind of warm them up and dry off.
And Leonard didn't see any smoke coming from Yaghmour, so the
Correct.
takeover probably went peaceful.
Yes, you
Hopefully.
you feel like that is a good guess. That likely that there was no violence, no resistance based on the council's orders. So certainly that is something that is somewhat of a relief. So what would you choose to do now?
Now that I'm dry, or after things have dried off, I'd like to use my deer stalker skills and find some meat.
That's a great idea. Go ahead and do that.
I'll help him because I have scavenging as well.
I'll just sit by the fire.
What type of
Those of you
roll
who don't go doing that, will say that you are drying off.
Is anyone still injured?
Of course.
Yes, everyone. Let me before you do healing, let me do Bane's deer stalking
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so Bane, you're gonna go ahead and make a wisdom roll,
Jeez.
but because it's a class skill, you get to add in your level. So I know you're at a -1 for wisdom, but you add your level, so that kind of balances it out. It gives you a little modifier.
Nice. Oops. 21.
Okay.
Nice.
You, after about a half an hour, you actually bag a deer. But while Bane was out doing that, Bivoj, were you also looking to do a little hunt?
Yeah, maybe like smaller animals or just berries or whatever we can safely eat.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have you make your survival check. So that's also wisdom, but that is a primary for you. So you have your
Yeah,
level plus your wisdom bonus. So it's
19.
+5 to the roll.
So that's 19.
Yes. I'm going to say go ahead and roll a d4.
Okay, 4.
Okay. You find you were able to trap 4 rabbits, and then roll another d4.
That's 1.
Okay. So you're able to trap 4 rabbits, and you are able to gather a pound of berries, which is not a lot, but it's edible.
Yeah, it will add flavor to the hair.
Yes.
The bunny.
What time of year is it?
It is fall. But remember that it's been a bit cold, almost unseasonably cold for fall. You guys, after a half an hour, see Bane returning. You see Bivoj returning to your camp. Bane, I'm assuming, begins gutting the deer and dressing it, all that stuff. Bivoj, you're doing the same with the rabbits. The only way that you'll be able to cook anything, because none of you have a mess kit, unless you do. Do you? No.
No.
So
Put it on a stick.
You'll be roasting everything.
I grab a long staff-sized stick and start sharpening the ends of both of it so I can use it as a
Yeah.
roast.
Yeah, roast.
Together, you guys kind of put that together, and you're hunkering down around your fire, and you're cooking the venison, and Bivoj's grilling the rabbit. You guys are there for a couple hours. Oldrad, was there healing that you wanted to administer?
Yes. Who's the lowest?
I don't know. I can't update my character sheet.
So
within-
Sarah has
please,
29 of 40. Bivoj has 29 of 40. Claude has 26 of 48. So that makes Claude the winner.
I offer 5 to Claude.
Okay.
I light my pipe with my recently acquired tobacco as I pensively am praying to Pishwick, and I give him 5 hit points of health. And I give 3 to Sarah and 3 to Bivoj.
All right, 3 to Sarah puts her at a hearty 32. 3 to Bivoj at 32. Oh,
Thank you.
Party's looking
You're
pretty
welcome.
healthy.
Peshwick, bless you.
I'm going to scavenge the tendons from the deer and the rabbits.
Okay.
Bowstring.
2 hours go by. You guys are eating fresh caught meat. It's not seasoned, but it tastes better than the gruel that you consumed previously. It is now evening. Not dark, but dusk.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that, because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.